The holidays yield the highest scammer and fraud rates out of any other time of the year, according to the West Virginia State Police and Perry Forensic. They want you to know what to look out for and how to handle potential scammers this holiday season. Scammers are getting more clever as we reach new heights in technology. That email from the Social Security office could actually be someone in another country attempting to get your personal data. Look for telltale signs of fraud, such as a misspelling of a company or name and email addresses that don't match the contact information for that business. Some scams are so good, Corporal C.S. Jackson with the WVSP and Jeff Sandy from Perry Forensic recommend you go a step further. Try contacting the business or organization directly rather than responding to the fishy email or suspicious phone call. Jackson says the best form of prevention in fraud cases is education and staying alert.
And education is probably the most important tool in our field right now, is spreading the message. We've come across a lot of people, a lot of professionals, a lot of people in this community who did not think they would fall for a scam like that, and they still fall for it.
Financial fraud can happen in many ways, including business emails, romance scams, and emails that look nearly identical to common places like government websites. To learn more about signs to look out for and how to handle a potential scam, go to our website, WTAP.com.